Hi guys, it is Sunday. It is review day. So let's just dive into it. Today we're diving into the entire Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy by Stephanie Garber. And listen, I have thoughts. Emotional ones, slightly fair ones. So settle in. The series honestly feels like stepping straight into a living fairy tale. It is whimsical, it is dangerous, it is glittering with emotion, and completely soaked in magic, curses, and fate-bound bargains. What more can you ask for? From the beginning, the world feels lush and immersive, where romance has real consequences and hope can be both a strength and a weakness. And I'm not even gonna lie. This is where I knew I was probably in trouble in the best way. The first book is where the atmosphere immediately shines. We get enchanted churches, cursed apples, and a decadent northern courts that feels straight out of a dream. Stephanie leans fully into fairy tale logic here, and it works beautifully. The wonder is there, but there is also a darker undertone simmering just beneath the surface. So Evangeline is such an interesting protagonist because she's driven by belief. She truly believes in love. She really believes in true love. She believes in destiny and happily ever afters. So that optimism definitely makes her vulnerable at times, but it also makes her incredibly resilient. There were moments though where I genuinely just wanted to protect this poor girl from her own hope. Watching her navigate between betrayal and heartbreak while still dealing with forces far older and more dangerous than herself, it felt very emotionally grounding. But let's be honest here for a second. The real magnetic pull here is the dynamic between Evangeline and Jax. Like, what? The tension. It is immaculate. The interactions are layered. It's unpredictable. It is just emotionally messy enough in the best way. Like, you never actually quite know where you stand with him, and that uncertainty alone keeps the pages turning. So, this was around about the time where I had to stop telling myself, just one more chapter, because the lie was exposed. But anyway, overall, book one is captivating. Like, really, really captivating. It is enchanting, it is emotional, and it leaves just enough mystery to make continuing this series basically unavoidable. That being said, I need you to understand something. I devoured book two in less than 2 days. Let me just repeat that quick. Less than 2 days. I mean, that alone should tell you just about everything about how addictive this installment is. So, at some point, I should have probably been sleeping. But instead, I was stuck in a book, emotionally compromised, and just keep turning pages again and again and again. But seriously though, the emotional writing here is honestly one of the strongest parts in the entire series. The tension between Evangeline and Jax, it is absolutely charged in every single interaction. It is dangerous, it is complicated, and it is layered with feelings that neither one of them is brave enough to fully admit. You are taken step by step through Evangeline's thought process, which makes her decisions feel believable, even when everything around her is spiraling into complete chaos. The shifting dynamic between Apollo and Evangeline, it adds layer of tensions too. There is constant uncertainty where you never actually fully know how things are going to unfold, and it keeps the stakes feeling very real. So, I say that there are a few moments, but there has been quite a few, like a lot, of moments that kind of felt very repetitive. But honestly, the whimsical magic more than made up for it. Like, really, really made up for it. I loved it. The enchanted objects, the curses, the gems, all that carried into Stephanie Garber's fairy tale quality. It is beautiful and eerie and just the tiny little bit dangerous. And listen, the hollow scene between Jax and Evangeline, yeah, that kind of hurt in the best way. I actually had to pause just for a second there because the emotional tension was doing the absolute most. It really highlights the vulnerability, the history, and the tension between the two of them. So, if Jax would just stop being so freaking stubborn and admit his feelings, we could all sleep better at night. But then, if he did that, we probably wouldn't have book 3 to look out for, right? So, overall, this book is emotional, it is whimsical, it is tense, and it's painfully romantic in that slow burn way that keeps you flipping your pages over and over again, way past your bedtime. So, final installment, A Curse of True Love. So, finishing this book left me feeling both happy and a little bit sad, which honestly feels like the perfect way to end a series like this. One thing that I really appreciated here was the multiple POVs between Apollo, Evangeline, and Jax. Seeing events from different perspectives added a lot of emotional depth. So, I say that a lot, I just picked that up. I'm so sorry. Getting back to the review, there is a certain time in the story where it became layered in a very different type of way. Evangeline's situation in this book genuinely gave me anxiety at times. Like, she lost her memories. She was being confined in a castle and trying her very damn best to trust a husband whose love is tangled up between fear and control. Like, the atmosphere here is deeply unsettling, but it's in a very effective way. So, the writing here is amazing. There were moments, however, that I was honestly stressed for her. And it was a case of achievement unlocked. Protective reader mode is fully activated. Sorry. Apollo's jealousy towards Jax is understandable, but up to a point. But there are definitely lines crossed, which only ended up adding to that creeping sense that something was very wrong beneath the surface. Aurora Valor, you know, the one and only, brings strong energy from the start. Like that mysterious why are you here energy, which fits perfectly with the darker tone of this installment. I do, however, wish that we had been a little bit more of the attention when it came to Chaos and Lala and the other Valor brothers, because they were only mentioned a few times in the beginning and then later they became a big part of the book at the end. But final thoughts? Overall, the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy is immersive, it is emotional, it is whimsical, and it's just the right amount of dangerous. So, if you are looking for fairy tale fantasy, slow burn tension, morally complicated characters, and stories that feel like stepping into glittering but a slightly cursed dream, yeah, this series is definitely worth your time. But I'm not gonna lie, I am seriously gonna miss living in this world. This will definitely be a reread that I will do as soon as I start with the Caraval series, and then I'll probably let you know how it goes. Anyway, if you have actually read this trilogy, please tell me your thoughts in the comments. I would love to know if you felt as emotionally tortured by Jax, and if you were just as stressed out